As the largest motorcycle company in the world, Honda also dominates the American motorcycle market. The result of a strategy begun half a century ago, a plan to focus on perception as well as performance.
In the 1950s, in America, many people believed that there were only two kinds of people that rode motorcycles: outlaws and motorcycle cops.
That's why the message was more important than the machine when Honda decided to twist the throttle in the U.S. The year was 1959, and with 200,000 units sold, the tiny Super Cub was the most successful two-wheeled machine Honda had ever made. 1959 was also the year that the company's founder, Soichiro Honda, created a plan to sell motorcycles in the United States. Ironically, the Super Cub was not part of his initial plan.
Mr. Honda had visited many countries around the world and had observed that in the United States, very few people were riding motorcycles.
To Soichiro Honda, that observation also meant opportunity. On June 4, 1959, the American Honda Motor Company opens its first office in Los Angeles. Several mid-size motorcycles could be found on the showroom floor, but the little Super Cub wasn't one of them.
In the case of Honda in the 50s, they didn't start in the U.S. by marketing the Cub. They were marketing other products. They had a variety of machines. Most of them were based on traditional designs that were adapted to the U.S. market.
But there were a handful of the little Super Cubs in the U.S., used by the 8 employees of the American Honda Motor Company as reliable, fuel-efficient ways to get around town.
The Cub was initially being used by staff, but the reaction that staff got when people saw them riding it and the features and the advantages and the benefits of that design soon became readily apparent that the company said, you know, we ought to bring this in too.
But even with the Super Cub, Honda motorcycle sales in the U.S. didn't really take off until after a unique advertising campaign designed to change the public's attitude about motorcycles. The commercials first ran in 1963, and Honda sold 100,000 motorcycles that year. By 1964, Honda had captured nearly 50% of the entire U.S. motorcycle market. Public attitudes towards motorcycles were changing. In the early 60s, Honda risked its entire annual advertising budget to sponsor the Academy Awards. Then it bought TV commercial time in the Super Bowl. The impact was virtually immediate.
There were people lined up at dealerships, doorways, before stores opened the next day, the next Monday. It was pretty impressive.
By the late 60s, Honda was ready to take on all comers with a new motorcycle directly targeting the U.S. market. Called the CB750, it was the first large displacement motorcycle to offer an inline 4-cylinder engine and disc brakes. Cycle World magazine called it the most sophisticated production bike ever. Top speed 120 miles an hour. Price tag $1,495. The competition couldn't match either of those numbers.
This CB750 surprised and impressed all the people. This model turned out to be a very big hit, and this could be regarded as the flagship of the sporty motorcycles for Honda. At that time, the major important motorcycle market was the American market, so success in the American market for the motorcycle means automatically the success in the world.
That success was reinforced when a modified CB750 won the Daytona 200 in 1981. Even today, that victory by a CB750 is remembered as a defining moment for the company. And for legions of American riders, one more reason Honda became their motorcycle of choice for a twist of the throttle.